Hello my darlings, hope you're doing very well. In today's video I will be doing another tattoo enthusiast reacts to video, and this, oh my god, this has been sent to me so many times and I'm just like, oh okay, this, oh what are we going to be getting in for with this video? The title of the video is In Defense of Micro Tattoos, Pony Lawson Tattoo Opinions, and this is from the YouTube channel Inked. As you guys know, I have spent a lot of my YouTube video creating career talking about micro tattoos and tiny single needle tattoos and the problems with them, and just like it's all a little bit scammy in my opinion, right? And recently I think a couple of Instagram pages I follow have posted a tattoo from Pony Lawson, and you guys probably know which one I'm on about because it was sent to me plenty of times, and it was basically like a tattoo fresh and then a tattoo 2 years after, and everyone was going absolutely insane over it because it's like, oh my god, like this tattoo has been healed for 2 years and it still looks pretty good. And like with peace and love and no shade, that is only 2 years. Okay, most people have tattoos for decades, you know, depending on when they got them in their life. Like I started getting tattooed, oh my god, like 13 years ago now, and you know, so obviously I have tattoos that are like 13 years old now. Who knows when I might decease, but it could be tomorrow, it could be in 10 years time, it could be in 20 years time, it could be in 30, 40, 50. So I'm still going to have these tattoos for all this time, and a lot of other people will also have these tattoos for a very long time. And I feel like micro tattoos, tiny small single needle tattoos, is more something the sort of younger generation get. I mean, obviously I'm just generalizing here, but you know, like that's something younger people normally get because it's all over Instagram. It's definitely what I would call like a social media tattoo. The popularity of these types of tattoos have definitely grown since social media, and I would say in the past sort of 5-ish years, this kind of style has definitely blown up a lot more. There's so many young people getting them and they're going to be living for many years. So 2 years in comparison to like the 50, 60, 70 years that these people might have the tattoos, it is nothing. Absolutely dog shit nothing. I'm sorry, 2 years means shit. So when people are going crazy about this, I was literally just sitting there like this. Wow, yeah, 2 years. Whew. Amazing. Anytime that comparison photo turned up, I was just like, yeah, cool, whatever. Anyway, let's get on to this video. Let's just react before I go off on a whole tangent, because no doubt about it, I will be doing that throughout this whole video. So sit down and get your snacks and chill out with me while I rage.
My style mainly consists of a lot of realistic work, a lot of micro portraits, but I'm not limited to that. It spreads out to, like I said, anything realistic. I just don't do a whole lot of larger pieces anymore. So
okay, like I say about pretty much every micro tattoo artist, single needle tattoo artist, the people that do the tiny fine line tattoos, as always, I will repeat myself, it does take a lot of talent to do them. I will never deny that. But like I have said in other videos, it's a shame that these high detailed tattoos are done on a canvas that moves, ages, and gets sunburned and all of that fun stuff. Like, it is such a shame, but yeah. Anyway.
Mainly got into smaller tattoos and micro portraits due to the fact that I kind of subconsciously rushed myself. Like when I was working on larger panels, I had this idea in the back of my head where I have to get this thing finished today. Whereas when I'm doing the smaller tattoos or the micro portraits, I know I'm gonna finish that day, so now I can spend my time working on the little details and the subtleties and the small nuances and things like that rather than finishing.
Okay, I like a person that is honest, and I totally respect that. I would much rather go to someone that's like, hey, you know, like big pieces freak me out, they make me panic, and I feel like there's a pressure on me to get it done as soon as possible. But you know, so I've changed the style of what I do, made it smaller, and it's a lot more manageable for me. And that's really good for someone's mental health and stuff like that, because I know with people in creative industries, they put so much pressure on themselves, and especially with tattooing as well, it's very stressful because again, this is on someone's skin, you're scarring someone for life, so you want your tattoo artist to be comfortable. So I respect that, I totally respect that, and I'm glad he's honest with that.
So a lot of people say that these micro tattoos will look like a blob in the future.
Those words have never come out of my mouth. I'm one of those people. I'm so one of those people, and I will stand by that until someone proves me otherwise. If you can show me a micro tattoo that's healed for like 10, 15 years, I might give you a pass. But until that moment, I will carry on saying it will look like a blob. And 10, 15 years is being generous, because I would normally say 20, 30.
In the same sentence, they're referencing older tattoos, the bold will hold tattoos that our grandmas and grandpas have that look like blobs.
Again, I have never said anything like that in my whole entire life. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a statement I have said plenty of times. But is there a lie there? There is no lie there. If you look at an older person with tattoos and the tattoos are like 40 or 50 years old, yeah, they're not readable anymore because they have been through a lot. They've been through 40, 50 years of someone's skin being out in the sun. They've aged, they've grown, they've been through a lot. There's pollution in the air, and all of that can really affect how a tattoo ages. That's why that expression has been said. Not just by me, by many, many people.
Right, the bold will hold tattoos are now blobs. 30, 40 years later. Another artist on this channel said something recently that I agreed with a lot. It's not bold will hold that makes the tattoo last the test of time. It's contrast, it's high contrast. It's not a black line. Having that contrast is what's gonna hold. I love traditional tattoos, and I think that's well known, but I also think a lot of these guys have a traditional mentality. They learned from their mentors that this is the only way, it's the right way to be done, when it's not true.
Here we have another tattoo artist pointing the fingers at the traditional tattoo artists and how they go about things, and the reason why they like that is because they know. It's not because they're being arrogant or they're jealous of like these tattoo artists that have become super famous because of the style that they do and Instagram and all that. It's literally because they know. They've been tattooing for a very, very long time. They know the ins and outs. They know what heals right, what doesn't heal right, because they've been doing it for so long. It is bold will hold. I again will stand on that hill, I will die on that hill, because if you look at realism tattoos that have a lot of contrast between highlights and the deep depths of like contouring or shadows, whatever you want to call it, you know, if you look at a really old realism portrait, you know what, I'm going to show you my one because that's the best freaking example I can give you. Okay, like, so I got a vampire tattoo in 2012, so it's like eight years old. It'll be 9 years old in like November, and again, it's realism. I'll obviously show you the picture of what it looked like when it first was done, so let's ingest that, right? So again, with realism, there's a lot of contrast, as you can see with the photo. I will have to get naked for this. Okay, bit compromised here, but this is what it looks like now. Can you see that? Okay, this is only, like I was saying, 8 years old. There's the contrast here. Sure, it still kind of looks like a portrait and stuff, but this definitely needs some work done to it, especially this hand. There's no outline in this hand at all. The artist just used the contrast that Pony was just talking about, and like, where is it going? It's disappearing. Why is that? Because it has no outline. Okay, the tattoo is becoming compromised because, you know, aging. I've put on weight on my thighs. Do you know what I mean? It's been through the elements. This area of my leg also has been sunburnt quite a few times because I'm really pale. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, tattoos go through so much, and that's only in 8 years, and look at it. And you expect us to believe that a tattoo, a tiny, teeny tattoo, is going to stand the test of time when a big realism tattoo that relied on contrast can't even stand 8 years. Like, seriously, I think my realism tattoo here is probably my oldest one. If not, it's this one. As you can see, big black outlines. Again, how old is this? I think this is 7 years old. So it's just a year older than my vampire tattoo. This still looks very legible. You can tell it's a lipstick tattoo. There you go. What more proof do you want? Like, bold will fucking hold.
So I like this one a lot. This is one of the few micro color tattoos that I've done. I'd like to see where it's at now.
So let's have a dissect of this. Again, I will 100% say that is a gorgeous tattoo. It's amazing. It's so well done. But he's just said, like, I would like to know what it looks like now. You can't even like predict how your tattoos are gonna look within a year, 2 years, however old this tattoo is. But if you ask like a traditional tattoo artist or neo-traditional tattoo artist, they wouldn't even need to wonder because they know what it's gonna look like. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think the reason that this is gonna stay around so long.
Again, he's like questioning it. It's not like he knows. So that's just like, I don't know. The uncertainty is just like, do you know what I'm saying? It's that like scammy vibes again that I'm getting. The whole like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I like going to tattoo artists who can like guarantee me a tattoo is gonna look good for at least 10 years. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I've never had a tattoo artist be like, oh yeah, you know, this might look good in 2 years' time.
I'm gonna go back to the contrast. Obviously her jacket and hair, they're not going anywhere. The cut of her chin is almost a solid black. That's not gonna go anywhere. Nostrils, eyelashes, and...
The thing is, when it comes to relying on the contrast, that means you have to rely on the white ink to balance out with the black. He said there was like a lot of black under the chin. It's like, if you really think about it, it's probably like what? Not even half a centimetre. It's tiny. And when all of this sort of blurs out and ages, or even after it's healed in like what, 2 months time after this has been done, you'll lose a lot of that fine detail. It's just the way it is.
Oh, Jeffree Star.
Oh, Jeffree Star indeed. Oh my god, I couldn't think of anyone worse to have on me. Again, there's no denying, even though Jeffree Star is like one of the most problematic people on the planet, it is a good tattoo. And this one does look a little bit bigger, so I'd say it's maybe like palm size. So you're still going to run into some problems there, but there is enough space there for it to grow, and because it's bigger, you've been able to put a bit more detail in and there's a bit more space, so when stuff ages and blurs out, it's still going to be kind of readable, apart from maybe the mini portraits that are Jeffree Star's tattoo, if that makes sense. It's a tattoo within a tattoo. The detail for that might just disappear, but...
Yeah, I like this one a lot too. The shading in the hair is gonna end up healing out real soft. The shading in the face is gonna heal real soft, but if you notice again, cheekbone, very dark, eyes very dark, mouth very dark, under the chin very dark.
I would say this is probably gonna heal the best, well, compared to the other one anyway, the one that we've just seen. As you guys saw from my realism tattoo that is pretty damn big,
this one is right underneath the Jeffree Star, and this one was pretty small. Little Crybaby, one of my favorite movies, and I got to see this one healed, and it healed almost exactly the way we put it in.
No, the fuck it did not. First of all, nice way to expose yourself that you edit your photos, because, you know, the skin is extremely white in the first one, and then if you look at the second photo, it's not, so you edit your photos. Good to know. Definitely wax up the contrast and the brightness so you can tell a difference between the darks and the lights. It's, you know, a trick of photo editing. So obviously with the photo editing and stuff, and then seeing it healed, oh boy, there is a huge difference there, and to me that is bad business practice. If I saw that on a profile to a tattoo artist that I want to go to, I would avoid so hard. I like tattoo artists to just take your everyday normal pictures and post them, and then when they healed, you can't really tell much difference. And I've said many of times, I've even made maybe 1 or 2 videos on this, a little bit of photo editing is absolutely fine in my opinion, because cameras don't always pick up what the eye can see, so you have to tweak it a bit. But when you tweak it so much that the skin is like porcelain white and then the darks are that dark, it's just false advertising. As you can see, the healed photo looks completely different, and again, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it is still pretty good, but when you look at the first photo when it's freshly done and edited, it's just like, whoa.
So one of my favorites on one of my favorite clients, Esther, I did a couple color micros on her. We did this one, we did a black and white session first. So we did the entire tattoo in black and white. We let it heal for about a month or 5 weeks. We came back and we put color on top of it.
Okay. Oh my lord. You shouldn't have to take 2 steps to get a tattoo done. I totally understand touch-ups, sometimes tattoos do just need a touch up. And with micro tattoos, you need a lot of touch ups over the years. But you should not have to do 2 steps to get the tattoo that you want. To do it all in black and grey and then to add colour. You're just damaging the skin more, you're creating more scar tissue, and then obviously this type of tattoo will need touch ups at some point. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many. So you're just adding more layers upon layers upon layers upon layers, and then when the tattoo starts blowing out and then you add more layers, it's just going to get even more blurry. It's just not going to look good. Like, you shouldn't have to do that to achieve a tattoo. It's a fun technique and it's not something I've ever heard of before, but it's definitely not something I would want to go through.
So now this looks exactly how it did. And I think that's important when you're doing these colored micros, to have some sort of black foundation or some sort of like shading foundation, because you do need something to hold those colors in place. Being in the sun and things like that, they will bleach the color. If the color comes out, you will still have that foundation of shape via the black shading and gray wash shading.
Okay, I can totally understand why he's done it and all of that jazz, but there is no need. You don't need to be doing this. Just no.
Willy Wonka tattoo. So this is also on Esther. She's got the Dumb and Dumber one. So luckily she let me experiment and to learn to do it that way, to build a black and white foundation first. So we did this one the same way. We did an entire session with black and white first, let it heal completely, and then we did this on top of it. I saw her a couple weeks ago and this looks exactly the same, to a T.
But do we have a photo of that? No, we don't have a photo of that. Why? Because it probably doesn't look the exact same. Don't need to lie.
Also on Esther, she lets me experiment a lot, and
that is the photo. That is the one that I was talking about at the beginning of the video.
I love this tattoo. This was one of the first ones that I did that I think got a lot of attention, was Edward Scissorhands. I mean, it's a great reference. I put this photo up after a certain video came out bashing micro tattoos because I had a lot of people say, yeah, what's that gonna look like a month from now?
A month from now. Don't worry about the other 50 years these people are going to be alive for. It's the month that we're worried about. You don't pay for a tattoo for it to last 2 years. You pay for it to look as good for a very long time.
Oh, it's gonna look great. Well, what's it gonna look like a year from now? So I'll post a picture from a year from now. Yeah, but what about 2 years? We've got 2 years, so now I get people to say, yeah, but what about 10 years? See y'all in 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, you will. Don't you worry. I will be waiting. A lot of us will be waiting to see what that looks like in 10 years time, and then 20 years time, and 30 years time, and however long this person may live. We're waiting, don't worry.
When I look at this, I don't see too many things that disappeared from it. Even
yeah, some of the sharper detail has definitely gone from it. It doesn't look as sharp and defined, which obviously happens pretty much after a tattoo is healed, like 6 months. It doesn't look as sharp and new, obviously.
Granted, this is only 2 years. I understand that the body and the skin loses fatty cells, so on and so forth. The skin likes to wrinkle, etc. This is gonna look no different than your traditional Japanese tattoo when your body starts to wrinkle.
Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna compare a teeny tattoo to a huge scale traditional Japanese piece. Most Japanese tattoos are pretty big. You've got the big back pieces, the sleeves, and there's a lot of detail within them, but because they're so big and bold, like, they last for so long and they look good for so long.
So this one I did with no black and white foundation, and I just did a color foundation. I do believe because this client was out of town, I'm not sure. They sent me healed photos and it healed really good. The pink stayed in there, the skin tone stayed in there. It's just one of those things that, 20 years from now, if this were to get a little bleached, you're still gonna have the solid black on the chin and the darker tones around the nose and eyes.
I don't know. Again, with this one, it's bigger. So it's not like tiny, so it would probably last longer than a smaller one, without a doubt. But to believe it looks still like a photograph, or for someone to expect it to look like a photograph in 15, 20, 30 years time, I don't know, man. I'm a huge skeptic.
It's a Gus Fring in colors.
Okay, I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan. Huge. But again, this one is pretty dang small. There's a lot of detail on the side of his face. Yeah, you're 100% going to lose the brightness of those white highlights in the side of the face. It's going to turn that sort of yellowy colour.
She's got a Walter White micro next to her and Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad.
Do you see the tattoos he's talking about? Barely see what the fuck is going on there. You can just about make out that tattoo is Aaron Paul. And again, it's that sort of small size, a lot of detail. And that, to me, has not aged that great at all. Like, where's this contrast, dude? I mean, yeah, it's a little bit blurred because he's done that effect that we talked about in another video, where a tattoo artist will put a blur effect around the tattoo, so it makes the tattoo on the skin look a lot more sharper and defined. Is a trick of the eye. So he's done that. Fabulous. So he's having to use a lot of photo editing for his tattoos to look good. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, it's definitely blurred the Aaron Paul tattoo a little bit, but still, that contrast that he relies on so much, it's all blurred out, it's all muddy. Like, you've just shot yourself in the foot there, love. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, wow, that was a wild ride there. But what have we learned from today's video? I still feel the same. There's pretty much nothing you can say about a micro tattoo that will change my mind, unless you can show me a picture of it that is 15 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old. I will sit on this throne and say the same things that I've been saying for a few years now, is that they're kind of scammy. Don't try and act like they're going to last and look good years down the line, because they're not. Again, I will say that obviously not everyone likes the big bold tattoos. I totally understand that, and sometimes, you know, this is just what people like, and I totally accept that. It's the only issue I have is when the artists or people in general just defend them and say, yeah, they're gonna look good. Okay, show me the proof. I still, after many years of making these videos, have not seen any proof that they look great. So again, I will be sitting here waiting and waiting. I'll probably have real grey hair by the time that happens, because, you know, my hair is dyed grey at the moment. But by the time I see maybe a somewhat decent healed micro tattoo that is 15 to 20 years, 30 years old, I will be 60. So anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on this video, and until my next one, bye.